I would do is I would rewrite this power that's in between cosine and theta for what it is, which is cosine theta raised to the third power. And then we have our sine theta, d theta, and then our integral. Now, once you do that, that will provide some clarity for you for how to proceed, because you do have parentheses here, so that means that we want our u potentially to be cosine of theta. And then our du, the derivative of cosine, is negative sine theta d theta. All right, so to convert this, we are going to use cosine theta first, and again, this is like our little key to life here, this u and du. So I start with u, and I say, okay, u is cosine theta, so that becomes u to the third power, and that will leave us with sine theta d theta to still contend with. Now, to contend with sine theta d theta, we notice that our du is defined as sine theta d theta with a negative. So we need to multiply in by a negative, and when we multiply in by a negative, that changes the integral, so we will multiply on the outside or divide on the outside by a negative, so that we have a negative times a negative, and we end up with a positive, the original sign associated with the integral. All right, now what does that multiplying in by a negative buy us? That tells us that negative sine theta d theta, all of that is our du. So we now have u to the third, du, and then negative out in front of the integral. So at this point, we have the integral completely in terms of u, and so now we are ready to integrate. So for integrals, we add, so we're going to add 1 to the exponent, divide by the new exponent. And then we have a plus c because we do not have bounds. All right, so at this point, we got to convert it back or switch it back to our x variable, or theta variable in this case. So again, u was defined as cosine theta from up above here. So we plug in for this u the cosine theta. So we will have cosine theta to the fourth power over 4, negative carries along, plus c. Now, do keep in mind, you can write your answer this way. There is kind of a convention in mathematics that we write this parentheses to the fourth power for our trig function as cosine 4 theta over 4 plus c.